corner.
You want to see me fish?
He's hot. He's hot.
Red hot Dorado fishing continuing in Southern California as the El Patron is in an absolute ripper on the Dorado. They have 10 anglers, 100 Dorado for U.S. limits on the flatheads. They are now looking for bluefin tuna. The 22nd straight landing base boat is red hot. Great job. Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California here in Southern California, sandwiched between Seal Beach and Huntington Beach. It's a gorgeous morning. It's the end of Labor Day. My God, somebody's got that time clock just cranked up. I can't believe that 2023 is going to be in our rearview mirror here pretty soon. And I mean, it's going that fast. Halloween is next, and then all of a sudden it'll be Christmas, and New Year's it'll be 2024. So slow down and enjoy, because we've got some great sport fishing news to cover with you here again today. We're watching that Dorado bite south of the border and into U.S. waters. It has been fabulous. What's going on out there on Tanner Bank with our bluefin tuna? And is the Cortez Bank yellowtail bite still on? How about the Channel Islands? Are they still seeing bluefin, catching a few white sea bass? And of course, we'll even take you a little bit further north up to Emeryville to see some outstanding rock fishing with our friend KJ from Mag 12 Swim Baits. Of course, we've got all that and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, is that good? Somebody hid my United States coffee cup on me, but I've got plenty more. Don't worry about it. And this one came from a guy by the name of John Moore. John, good morning. Haven't heard from you or Dennis for quite some time. I hope you guys are doing great. Hey, hit that like button if you don't mind. It means a lot to us. Share these videos. Of course, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures family channel here. Family channel. It's the Friedman Adventures channel. And of course, you are all part of the family. You guys are so great in everything that you do. And tick that bell. You'll be notified when there is new content, my friends. And don't forget, we're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can catch us there every single day as we have more and more content headed your way. And, you know, 2024, while I know that it's a little ways away, man, that's going to be a big year for Friedman Adventures. We continue to grow, bumping up on 4 million views, thanks to all of you. 450,000 plus likes over there on TikTok. Man, I owe that all to you. Thank you so very much. Also, just want to make sure that you're keeping anybody out there who is suffering. Eddie Leland continues in his battle with cancer. Mike Stout is another guy. And I know some of you have family members and friends who perhaps are in battles with cancer or some other malady. And of course, we want to keep them all in our thoughts and prayers. And once again, thanks for everything you guys do to help us with our efforts in Mexico. I met with the guys from the Fibbers Christian Fishing Club. Great group of guys. Thanks for a beautiful lunch, you guys. They're chipping in to help us on our Mexico efforts. Our next one will be around Christmas down there in that neck of the woods. All right, let's get into it with you all. And man, I got to tell you, there is some great fishing and potential for great fishing. Seems like that windy weather out there on Tanner Bank is starting to get in our rear view mirror, but it was windy and bumpy out that way. We'll have some news on that. I want to start you out on the other side of the border down there around Ensenada, where guys are still able to go out the Pongueros, and if you're a private boater, go out and find the right kelp patty. You can come away with some Dorado down there. In most cases, it's going to be limits of Dorado. That's 2 Dorado per rod in Mexico. So 2 Dorado per rod down there in Mexico. Abraham Esparza is a great family member, a Friedman Adventures family member, contributes so many ways to help build our channel. He was down there. He said, Phil, you're right about the Dorado, but we were trolling candy bars and getting bit on the candy bar lures. So that's great stuff, man. Abraham, it's so good to see you catching those flatheads down there. They're acrobatic, colorful, and they are so much fun. No question about it. And great to see you with that photo. They range, as you can see, from small to a little bit bigger. We've seen an influx of a little bit bigger fish down there in Ensenada, you know, like 8 to 12 pound fish. But then on some patties, you'll catch all that small grade, like I want to say 4 or 5 pound Dorado. So it depends upon what kelp you hit, and there is a mix of fish. There's also some yellowfin tuna that pushed into the area, and bluefin tuna. You have a shot at that stuff when you're fishing down there. Now, most of that has not been all that big either, but when you get the right stop or patty, man, it has been off the hook. Other times, it's scratchy. 8 to 10 pound on the bluefin, the yellowfin. Although, listen up, there's some 20 to 40 pound stuff mixed in with it, especially with the yellowfin tuna. And there's been quite a bit of marlin down there. We're still looking down the barrel of a great fall here in SoCal. If you ask me on marlin, you're going to see that bite really good in October, November. Or at least that's the way it seems to pan out with this El Nino still pushing warm water our way. So still some pretty darn good fishing going on down there in that neck of the woods. By the way, I got to thank everybody who came out for the Walk with Phil event yesterday. It was so great. I mean, people drove from Ventura, Cal. Thank you so much. Other people from the foothills, they came out, John and Jose and Manny. Thank you so much for the empanadas and everybody else that was there. It was great to spend time with each and every one of you. We got to do that again really, really soon. Really fun stuff. All right, up here into the area in SoCal, and I'm talking about Tanner Bank and Cortez Bank. Cortez continues to kick out some really awesome yellowtail fishing. Many boats were up there around 100 on the nice big grade yellowtail, 12 to 30 pound fish, Thunderbird, Freedom, several San Diego boats up there around 100, 120, 150 of these nice big grade yellowtail. Biting a fly line bait really well. Fluorocarbon is a necessity, and you know we love Opsin Fluoro here. www.opsinusa.com. Put in FA, check out Greg Brown. We'll send you a free gift. So 25 to 40 pound, good hot bait. That's been working well, but there's been a lot of surface ironfish, some yo-yo ironfish also. Man, that bite has been really, really good. So you do have a shot at getting in on that, and that weather's starting to moderate. It's been snotty out there. The El Dorado, as a matter of fact, was out there on a 2.5-day trip, and they said it was pretty darn rough out there in that neck of the woods. Daryl Folger. Daryl, good morning. He said, man, I'm on the morning briefing every single morning, and we can't thank you enough for that. He's part of the Rooster Crow crew. I love it, man, that Rooster Crow. Every morning, some of your wives or girlfriends or other people are, what the hell is he listening to out there? And we are loving that. So thank you. Daryl said, pretty windy, pretty rough out there. Made things difficult. They had 4 bluefin tuna at night for that entire trip. And those fish were 45 to 105 pounds. There's some nicer grade fish in there. But overall, pretty tough trip. And I think you can chalk that up to the weather, and also that the bite has not been very consistent at all out there in that neck of the woods when we're talking about tuna. It's been tough for everybody out there in that neck of the woods. So just a little bit of bluefin out there. It seems like that bluefin has moved off the bank, flooded into other areas. There's a bank called the Butterfly Bank, the 43, and some other zones. And along the coastal regions, like within range of 1/2 and 3/4 day boats, we see a lot of bluefin tuna. Now, the oceanography here locally, just to digress, but while we're on the subject of this bluefin tuna, is just not right yet. It's still kind of messed up water. It's not clean. It's just the kind of water you don't expect to find bluefin in. And man, the result has been seeing a lot of fish, but not biting. That light switch will go on at some point in time and ride us into an incredible fall and also late summer bite. So hang on. That's going to get rocking and rolling one of these days. But right now, it's been tough. Great report there. Really appreciate that. Several boats with really big-time Dorado scores out of San Diego. That is still going on. Sometimes it's in U.S. waters where you can keep 10 per angler. Sometimes it's in Mexican waters where you can keep 2 per angler. And hopefully we're going to see more and more of that. Eric Korkowski. Eric, good morning to you. Nice bluefin coming over the rail on board the Success. Nice big fish, 120-pound BFT. Steve Craig was also out there and had some bluefin tuna. Steve said Greg Obimeko and the crew on the Success, he said it doesn't get any better. They were absolutely awesome, and we are so happy to to hear that. Other boats. Hey, the Prime Time, beautiful yacht. My kids were on there. Philip and Patrick, they were on a 2-day trip, said full speed Dorado. The flatheads were biting, said it was so much fun. The kids had limits along with their group. That sounds really good to me. On the Grande, Friedman Adventure family member Roel had some great Dorado fishing. I don't know how you can beat that. On board the Point Loma, Scott Buchert is decking on the Point Loma, and he just keeps getting them. Well, I mean, the people on board do. Scott's working his tail off, gaffing fish, cleaning fish on the way home, and having all kinds of fun. But you can see some great photos Scott provided us with from their trip on board there. And of course, over there on the Mission Bell, we continue to see good fishing. The San Diego, great fishing going on. Mostly flatheads, mostly Dorado, with some yellowfin and bluefin mixed in, a few yellowtail on the kelps, but mostly the flatheads right now. It looks good. And for our Apollo trip, we're leaving Thursday night out of Seaforth. We are looking so good. We're going to hopefully get out and limit out on the Dorado. Man, here I go, shoot my mouth off. But hopefully that's the game plan. And then we catch some tuna after that. 25 to 40 on that trip as things stand right now, guys. 25 to 40, you should be good. If you have a rod with 60 to 80, bring it. I don't think you'll get to it. I would not recommend renting one at this point in time. 25-pound rod should get you through the day just fine if it stays the way it is. Fluorocarbon is a must, and you'll be in really, really good shape. And that goes to anybody else out there who's listening to today's report. Mike Costello, another great Friedman Adventures family member. Check that out, man. Bluefin and bottom fish. I don't know how you could beat it, Mike. It was great to chat with you a little bit here this morning. Nice going and awesome fishing going on. The Pride out of 22nd Street Landing. Sean Roberts, who stole my coffee pot. I'll get you, Sean, for that. Just kidding. Enjoy that thing. Great, great, great job. And the Freedom, doing a great job. And the Amigo, doing a great job. And the True Line, doing a great job. 22nd Street, really rocking and rolling. 310-832-8304. The Monte Carlo will be running. I'll be down there today in just a little bit, hanging out, doing some paperwork, and of course meeting many of you. Greg Bates will be there. We've got all kinds of great stuff going on. So if you want to poke your head in and purchase a raffle ticket, we would indeed appreciate that. That money goes to help ship things across the border, and it is really costly. Last time we sent items to Cedros, it was well over $3,000 just for the shipping, not for running around picking up all the goods and everything else. So if you could help by purchasing a raffle ticket today or any other day, let me know. If you want to do that online, you can do it. Just send me a text about raffle tickets, 657-227-6459. I could sign you up, send you a photo of your tickets, and we're off to the races. You might win, and you will for sure be doing a good deed, and we can't thank you enough for that. All right, let's talk islands, and then down there at Todos Santos Island, not far outside of Todos, that's down in Ensenada, there's some really good Dorado fishing going on right outside of there. That is really great news. And again, we continue to see at the islands a few yellows, decent calico bass fishing, rockfish, get you up to the Coronado Islands. Conditions off color a little bit, plenty of kelps nearby, so not many guys fishing the islands. And you do need a passport when you're fishing within 12 miles of Mexican territory. So not many boats there, but the guys that have been there picked off some yellows. Calico bass fishing still pretty good. There's rockfish, sculpin, and that kind of thing. But a lot of offshore activity going on. San Clemente Island, few yellows there. Same story, although in the weather, some guys got in there and picked off a few yellows. Good calico bass fishing. And then Catalina, kind of ho-hum. It's been a ho-hum year at Cat this year. A little bit of yellowtail, maybe you get one or two on a sport boat, a little bit of calico bass and some sheepshead, whitefish, that kind of stuff. Up there in the Channel Islands, we continue to see bluefin tuna, not biting all that well, but there's a little bit of it around. The other day, the Aloha Spirit had a little sample of white sea bass, so that's still around. What an incredible spring it was in the Channel Islands for that. So we continue to pick away at that stuff. I want to take you up to Emeryville Sport Fishing, where KJ from Mag 12 Swim Baits was fishing a variety of his lures, and he said it was phenomenal. KJ, nice report. Thanks for checking in with us. He was on board the Seawolf out of Emeryville. And John Yokomiso was the captain. He said, John really knows his stuff. Put us on all kinds of great fishing. He was up in the bow, KJ that is, fishing his baits. And he's got a lube also that he was fishing. And man, I'm telling you, he knocked him dead. Just him himself. He had tremendous fishing with 8 links, 4 reds, a nice chili pepper, a couple of starries. I don't know how it can get much better than that, as you can see. Great fishing. He just wanted to change of pace. He's been pulling on too many tuna this year and wanted to go try this, and he said it paid off. Great fishing on board the Seawolf out there out of Emeryville. Sport fishing along our coast. John Ho, another great guy, Friedman Adventures family member, was on board the Dolphin, and as you can see, I had a variety of fish with some sheep's head and calico bass, and of course John will be preparing a great feast here very, very soon. I know he always puts that fish to good use. And then also we continue to see decent calico bass, a lot of shorts down there in San Diego, up there around Oceanside, there at Dana, up here in the LA Orange County area. Boats are still picking away at the sand bass. The oceanography is starting to get a little bit better. I don't think that's over by a long run. In fact, I know it's not. Chuck Zimmer and his son Charlie out there with a bunch of guys from the Redondo Rod and Gun Club, and they had fine fishing on the sand bass and a mix of other fish. A nice big goat on board that trip, big sheep's head, and once again, a 2-ounce lead head is what Chuck said. 2-ounce lead head with a strip of sardine. Did the ticket not only on the sand bass, but also on the rockfish, as they loaded up on some rockfish on that trip also. So how can you beat that kind of fishing? Marina del Rey, a little bit of bass, lots of rockfish. Up there in the Channel Islands locally, same thing, rockfish and some whitefish and some good fishing. Island Spirit out of Ventura Harbor, sport fishing has been doing good. We love those guys also. Along the coast there, nice conditions for corvina fishing. There's some good corvina. You dig up some sand crabs. That is a great way to get the job done. Also, you can catch a variety of other species, some halibut as we come off this grunion run right now. Yellowfin croaker, spotfin croaker are going to be on the bait, so keep that in mind. And don't forget, your surf fishing headquarters in Southern California, Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. You'll be able to get all the baits you need, all the tackle you need, and be all up to speed on that. A lot of corvina here in the surf right now, so there is some good fishing on that, and hopefully that's going to continue. Remember, if it's a little tough on the budget, here's your place to fish. Man, I'll tell you, take your kids out here. It's inexpensive, it's fun, you can catch fish, have a fish taco feast at the end of it all, and you're out in the great outdoors. I don't know how you can beat that. All right, my friends, we will continue to monitor here today. I'll be at 22nd Street Landing. I should be there 10, hanging out till 2, 3, something like that. If you're jumping on the Monte Carlo, if you're walking by, poke your head in the studio and say, hi, come on in, take a seat. We'll pour you a cup of coffee. If you like, and grab a bottle of water. We're happy to do that. We might even cook some lunch up for you today. We're happy to do that. And once again, I can't thank you all for your great support and everything you do to help this channel grow. All right, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, tick the bell, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Thank you so much for all your great support. And as always, I hope to see you really, really soon. Have a great day, and bye-bye Labor Day.